not today, but June of 2023 in NPR that reads as follows: firefighting is mostly white and male. A California program aims to change that. So all those years later, they hadn't solved the problem. For some reason, they just couldn't find enough women who could do the job or wanted to. And then along came your current fire chief, who happens to be a woman and, bonus, gay, because who's not thinking about what kind of sex my fire chief likes to have? That's really where your mind goes when you're hiring someone for that job. And, unlike somebody who maybe got it and just said, okay, that's fine, you factored it in, but let's ignore it. Boy, oh boy, has this woman leaned in. Her name is Kristen Crowley. Here she is in one soundbite that was played on NBC in 2022, SOT 3.
I'm super inspired.
She took time out of her already busy schedule to tell us about her vision for the department's future, one that includes a 3-year strategic plan to increase diversity.
People ask me, well, what number are you looking for? I say, I'm not looking for a number. It's never enough.
Out of 3,300 city firefighters, only 115 are women right now. When it comes to inclusivity and diversity at this department, she's a proud member of the LGBTQ community.
That just kind of opens the door of people that thought, wow, I didn't even know that was an opportunity for me.
So that's where things stand now today.
Yeah, I mean, you just saw whoever's in charge of safety in New Orleans 20 minutes ago. She didn't really seem up to the job either. You kind of wonder if she didn't get pushed to the front of the line. Secret Service, look, we need the most competent people in these types of jobs. And if they happen to be lesbian or female or black or anything, then so be it. But that shouldn't be a criteria that's factored in. The jobs are too important. And now we're seeing the chickens come home to roost. People are dying because we've taken incompetent people and we put an emphasis on something else. I mean, it could go no other way. If we said, look, you're an air traffic controller, but first you're a gay man. And we really want to kind of focus on that. There would be planes hitting each other. Why wouldn't there be? Why wouldn't it? It could go no other way. So it's our fault, obviously, for emphasizing this junk. And hopefully enough people have died now where it's going to come back around.
Right. I mean, that's a crazy statement, but you're exactly right. Yeah, hopefully enough Americans are dead that someone's going to rethink these things. I mean, we're starting to see it. We're seeing it globally now, blowback against left-wing policies and politicians. By the way, I know this newsflash, Joe Biden is still the president. He's the current president, and he held a presser with Gavin Newsom on Wednesday. And right on brand, the president thought now would be a great time for him to lighten the mood and have some fun as people like you are seeing your homes get burned down, your neighborhoods get burned down. And this is the pivot. Watch.
The good news is I'm a great grandfather as of today. Grandfather. Baby girl, baby boy. So I remember this day for a while.
He's a great grandfather. And he had a great grandchild who's a baby boy or a baby girl. Not clear which. He said both. So I'm sure you feel reassured.
Look, if it's a baby girl, she can run the Los Angeles Fire Department. And if it's a baby boy, then he can go off to Russia and China and hammer checks on his dad's name. So either way, or his grandfather's name. So either way, that kid's going to land on his feet.
Good point.
I do want to say something to address what James Woods was eloquently saying on your program moments ago. And I think it's going to be interesting. He's talking about rebuilding. Rebuilding in Malibu, Palisades and Santa Monica requires permits, lots of permits, and you're going to have to deal with the Coastal Commission. And the Coastal Commission is not friendly, and they don't expedite anything. Suzanne Summers, the late, great Suzanne Summers, and her husband, Alan Hamill, had a house burned down in Malibu years ago, tried to rebuild, couldn't deal with the Coastal Commission. For 7 years, they had to deal with permitting in the Coastal Commission and ended up moving to Palm Springs. You're going to see a lot of people in Malibu who may have voted blue start voting red if their permitting and the Coastal Commission and all the bureaucracy starts getting involved. If people cannot rebuild their home in a timely fashion or gets regulated to the point where it just becomes impractical or undoable, you're going to see a lot of angry campers, which is what happened to Bill Maher. Bill Maher was hard left, and as hard left as they would go until he tried to pull a permit to put solar power in his home in Beverly Hills. And after 3 years of arguing with the city, he's starting to sound like me.
I should tell our audience he was going to be on the show today, but he had to postpone because of the fires. I think he's in the midst of this, dealing with it himself. Yeah, no, he hasn't been totally red-pilled because he's got some TDS going there. He definitely hates Donald Trump, but he is one of the normal liberals who we all used to know and love and argue with, but didn't get grossed out by. Like these woke people who care more about who you're sleeping with than whether you can fight fires when they put you in charge of a department. Look, I don't know whether this Kristen Crowley's incompetent or not, but I know that the reservoirs weren't filled and the fire hydrants didn't have water. And it seems like something she should have been jumping up and down about for a long time because that's literally her job. There's a report, though, that a bunch of money, Adam, I mean, I haven't totally followed the California reservoir politics for a long time, but Jillian Michaels, she tweeted out that in 2014, voters in California put $2.7 billion towards securing future water storage through Prop 1. By 2025, not a single reservoir has been completed. I mean, that's unbelievable. $2.7 billion towards securing future water storage in, 10 years ago. And by today, not a single reservoir has been completed. They spent money to put power lines underground, which also didn't happen. And they're also spending all this money on freaking high-speed rail, which has almost no chance of happening. So it's impossible to look at this and not ask whether some huge portion of it is due to mismanagement.
Well, I mean, the high-speed rail you speak of is $80 billion over budget. And it's not high-speed rail that connects LA with San Francisco or LA with San Diego or LA with Vegas. It's high-speed rail that started in 2008, was supposed to be done in 2020, has already gone $80 billion over budget and is connecting Bakersfield with Merced. Now, for those of you who are not in California and never heard of Merced, neither have people who live in California. Nobody I know even knows where Merced is, and they have lived here for many years. There's nothing in between Bakersfield and Merced. There's no reason to connect those two places. They're about 2 hours apart if you drive, which everyone does. And there's no thinkable, reasonable, rational reason why they keep dumping money into this boondoggle, but yet they do. We could have had power lines that were buried. We could have had reservoirs. We could have had aquifers. We could have had a system for collecting rainwater and so on and so forth. Instead, we have a $100 billion train to nowhere that no one's ever going to ride, and no piece of track has even been laid yet.
This report, I want to get to the rail again in 1 second, but this report just coming to my attention. In May of 2024, they hired a new Department of Water and Power head in LA by the name of Janice Quinones, who replaced a guy named Martin Adams. And they doubled the salary for that position. He was getting $435,000. She got $750,000. They said they had to do it to stay competitive. So this woman, who is younger and diverse and a woman, gets the salary doubled and the fire hydrants remain empty. So it just seems like a problem to me. These days, personal safety is not something that can be left to chance. Whether at home, on the road, or just living everyday life, having a reliable way to protect yourself and your family is crucial. This is why Burna is the choice for many. Burna is a game-changing, less lethal self-defense tool. Compact, powerful, and easy to use, it provides the confidence to act in any situation. Burna uses non-lethal rounds, tear gas, pepper, and kinetic projectiles to effectively stop a threat from a safe distance. And the best part? Burna can be shipped directly to your door, and it's legal in all 50 states. Burna is proudly American, with products hand-assembled in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Sometimes a firearm is not the right option. There are a lot of people who are afraid of holding them or just unfamiliar with it and realize that they're probably going to create more of a risk if they actually have a real loaded firearm. And Burna could provide a powerful alternative for those folks. Protect what matters most with Burna. Visit Burna.com. That's BYRNA.com/Megyn to receive a 10% discount and learn why thousands of people and law enforcement agencies are making the switch to Burna's less lethal protection. Burna, non-lethal self-defense, always ready. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.